Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host, Paul Jessen. Thank you for joining us, and we're glad you're here. We are, I guess, not officially, but semi-officially into the summer season now. The bandstands are going on Friday night. Things are happening. We're actually looking forward to the festival here in another month or so. So we are definitely into summertime. If you go outside on the day today when we tape, it's a beautiful, warm day here in Lancaster. So again, we're looking forward to some fun times in the summer, and hopefully some good programs coming up here. We'll talk about one of the good events that occurs, which is the Earth Angel program. We'll talk about that in the second half of the show. But in our first half, it's really a pleasure to have Bob Trocchia back with me. Bob, first of all, let me say thanks for coming back.
Hey, Paul, thanks for asking me.
I don't know how many years ago now since you retired from the Lancaster Corral, 4 or 5? 5 years. 5 years.
I can tell you to the minute.
He knows, and he would know. But when we did a kind of an exit show that time, you were stepping down, and you were just you had some things going on. It was a busy time for you, and you decided it was a right time to step away after all those many years as head of the Lancaster Corral. And we did a show. I thought, well, not sure whether I'll ever be able to get you back on, because you led a significant life as a teacher and as a conductor and everything that you'd done from that point. But as a retiree, not so much. You were just going to go out in Bremen and enjoy your time, and I thought that might be it. But I should have known better that Bob Trocchia is just not going to fade into the sunset. That isn't for you.
No. Well, you pretty much told it exactly like it was without knowing. You said exactly what happened. I missed the activity of the corral a lot. I missed being with people like yourself and planning, having the performance. You just go from one thing to another, and it's a bigger part of your life than you realize.
Sure.
When I finished, I missed the activity as much as the music, and so I thought, I've always written poetry. Not very many people knew that. All my life I've written poetry since I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, it was probably ta-da-ta-da-ta-da-ta-da or something, but I've always written it. And I thought briefly, and this is in the preface to a book that I came up with, I thought about maybe putting my poems together in a book of poetry, but although I enjoy it, and some of it might not be so bad, my words exactly are Emily Dickinson is a poet.
Yes.
I'm not. No. And my wife said, well, why don't you, you're a good storyteller, why don't you somehow combine poetry and just clicked. And so I came up with the idea of writing a book. And it's a book based, it's somewhat autobiographical. It starts with the first moment I laid eyes on my wife, Carol, whom you know well. She was 14, which wasn't a good thing in those days. I was a senior. I was only 16 years old. I grew up in Brooklyn, as you know, and I started school early. And when I came here, because of the discrepancy of the school systems, they bumped me up a grade. So I was 16 my senior year in high school and 20 my senior year in college. So I wasn't that much older than her, but freshman girls didn't date senior boys.
That was a different time.
So, but it was over for me that moment. And I actually wrote poetry about it. So I described that first incident, and there's some poetry. And from that point on, through this moment in life, and then beyond, it's got a twist ending. My son hasn't written country music for long enough for me not to know if you got a hook.
You got to have it at the end.
Going. Yeah.
Well, what Bob is talking about, and I'll hold this up and Shane will get a shot of that there, it's called Love Lines. And it's Robert C. Trocchia written it, and he sort of gave you a little thumbnail sketch of what it's about right here. And so here you are at least an age of a retirement, and you decide to step back in the fray and really get moving. How long, once you came up with this idea that this is what you wanted to do, and again, you must have it ruminating in your head for a while, you finally decided to put pen to paper. What was the length of time it took you to put this together?
That's a good question. Wasn't as long as you would think, because the anecdotal things I decided what I was going to describe that took the book from the beginning moment, not only to where we are now, but to when our earthly life ends, and then it goes a step beyond and ends with music.
Here we go, the hook.
Yeah, that is the hook.
Yeah.
And but then I had, I mean, thousands, literally thousands of poems in boxes, in journals, in envelopes, in bedroom dresser drawers, everywhere. And it was finding the right poetry from that era. I was more organization almost than
Sure.
writing, but it still was a little over a year. And I sent to some people who are friends who are published, and to my Uncle Joe's widow, Joan, in New York, who works in the publishing business. And she said, no, this is very good. This is a story that needs to be told, so you should. It encouraged me to do it. So I had it published, and it's been in publication since the last of March, last 8 or 10 days of March, something
Okay.
like that. But it was a lot of fun to do, and I'm enjoying the fruits of it now, because literally people are finding this online
Yeah.
that I haven't spoken with for 40 years, former students.
And that's how they're going to find it, right?
Yeah,
Online? Right.
it's an Amazon book. If you get online on your computer or your phone and you type in Amazon.com books, and when that comes up, click Amazon.com books, and then type in Love Lines, which is the title, Love Lines, Robert C. Trocchia. It comes up with a description. You can open and read a page or two, and hopefully order if you feel like it.
We'll put that up there with the book when we put it up, the address on how you can look it up, Amazon.com, and then Love Lines, Robert C. Trocchia. That's how you'll find it. But it's a paperback. I think a quick read. A lot of good art in here, little poems and a lot of neat things. And one of the things I wanted to be sure and mention was the cover art. And I guess, not being an artist person, although I'm kind of a person that's loved music, I'm not an art person. I couldn't draw 2 lines together, probably. But the drawing that you have on the cover, and I'll get Shane to show that again, and you explained it. It's when you put a pen to a paper and you never lift it.
Yeah, it's kind of, or at least that's what I call it. I'm not
Is
an
that a
art
love
scholar
line?
either.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
the title is Love Lines. That actually is a play on the word lifelines, because that's the first thing I think about when I think about my wife.
Sure.
She's the solid rock that
I understand.
for most of
You're
us.
a lucky man, Bob.
Yeah, I am.
You
I am.
are.
I love what Matt McPhail, the ex-athletic director and now principal, he always tells me, boy, did you outkick your coverage.
That's a good way to put it. That would be Matt's reference
I
right
changed
there.
it from lifelines to love lines. And Francesca Isabella.
Well, let's bring that up before we do it. Okay. Cover art, which again we're showing, is by a young lady named Francesca Taganidis.
Yeah.
And is she some relation to you?
Yeah, she's my daughter Ann's second daughter. She has 3 daughters, Alessandra Maria, Francesca Isabella, and Elia Luisa. And there's a family tie on all
Good
those.
American names.
Yeah, great. Good American name. And then they have 2 boys, Eliseo Paul, which is Eli Paul. Greeks named them after your grandfather. Skip a generation, but they're all the same name one way or another. And then the younger boy's named Nikolaos Roberto. So I got in on that one.
Very good. Now, Francesca, I think you told me she's studying art in Edinburgh?
Yeah, she's studying art and art history at the University of Edinburgh, where her older sister graduated with a master's just a year ago. But she drew that, and it's so significant because it couldn't have been she had no idea what I was doing, what I was writing, and she sent that to us, the original copy, and it was just, when I saw it, my daughter Lisa designed the cover for the book also, and it was just perfect. And it was just like 2 young people, starting out. And I even asked Francesca about it. What did you think about it? She said, well, I just wanted to have something that I thought would portray you as I saw you 2 in my mind, when you were younger. It was perfect. So that was Chesky, as we call her.
Well, I mean, again, it is the perfect thing, kind of a young couple holding hands, kind of getting together right now. Just, again, perfect for Love Line. So, now you've got the book. Carol's read it. Her thoughts?
Yeah, that copy you're holding is her copy.
Okay.
And she has read it many times, as have I. And it is an easy read. It's a fun thing to read a little bit and put down. It's a combination of an experience and poetry written about that experience.
And you can come back.
Occasional photos.
Yes.
You can come back to it, or you can sit and read it in an hour and a half, easily.
Sure.
And it's kind of fun that way because the twist on the end is so great. My son wrote a piece of music. We co-wrote it. The only piece. Sometimes he does ask me things, but he's not ever really
Typical
acknowledged
son.
that he used it.
I know him. I get that.
But I'll be always indebted to him for that because he wrote this piece, and it was perfect for this. I talked him into adding a bridge, a little bit of a musical term, so it was like 8888, and he added that. And the poetry, the word is in the back of the book. It concludes with the words to the poem, credits for Vince having written it together with me, and the studio where it was done, and the artwork by Francesca. And you can just type that or click that link in your phone or your computer and hear Vince singing it at the end. And it's about life after we're placed where we're going to be placed together.
Well, we'll put the cover up here, and we'll get the information up there too, where people can order it. And I don't want to get the cart before the horse, but I'm guessing you enjoyed your experience.
I love
writing the book. You enjoyed
writing
it, and in the back of your mind, there may be another book coming.
Yeah, no, it's far from the back of my mind. I finished this just a little after in the beginning of 2018, and I started immediately on a book on teaching, which has a philosophy about life lessons, giving kids experiences that will give them life lessons that will help them as adults. And that book hopefully will be done by the end of this fall or winter, and I'm enjoying the writing process a lot.
So you're into that now?
Yeah, I am. I'm missing music, but I got to tell you this because we've shared this both ways. I'm actually enjoying music. I have virtually everything I've done in some type of recording in my office.
Sure.
Much of it, hundreds and hundreds in my computer. And when I was doing it, I never was really very satisfied with anything, and other people were, composers, everyone, but I was not. But now I am. I had that disease that if there was 1 second wrong with it, then it ruined it for me. And now I can get by that 1 second. And
so a little bigger
not
picture.
A day goes by that I don't enjoy something that we did together.
Well, it was just an honor to be involved with anything that you did, whether it was taking private lessons myself as a youngster or even into the Lancaster Chorale days. It was just a pleasure to be with you. So again, we'll put that up, the cover and how to order it. We wish you great success on this.
Thank you.
It's always good to have you on, and give your lovely wife a nice hello from us.
I will do that, and you do likewise.
And wonderful inspiration for the book, and that's great. And plug in a little Francesca here. That is super for her to have. How proud Grandpa you must be. I can tell you're swelling up when you even think about it. Well, that's great. So the book is Love Lines. Robert C. Trocchia is our guy, and he's talking about that. Gosh, great success with that. Now, we'll look forward to not volume 2 because it'll be a different subject, but we'll be interested to see how you reflect on your teaching career. Should be fun.
Thank you, Paul.
Good. Bob Trocchia is our guest. We'll be back in a moment.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today, back again. I appreciate Bob Trocchia stopping in and talking about his book. Pretty exciting. And I love to have local authors on and talk about local books and things that have been done. Of course, Bob's a legend around here in the musical world, so it's fun to talk to him about that book. And again, I hope you saw that segment earlier, and it's a good one about his new book called Love Lines. We're moving into a different segment. Again, we talked earlier about what a beautiful day it is and how nice it is around here, and we're kind of holding out hope as we move toward the summer that we get a lot of good summer days like this because we have a lot of outside events scheduled for the summer around here, and this is one of them, the 33rd annual Super Cruise-In the Earth Angel Foundation puts on, and if it's Earth Angels, it's fun to have Neil Redd and Terry Smith back with us. Boys, thank you for joining us. We're here again. Boy, it seems like this year goes around quick. I'm sure it seems like that for you guys.
It seems like it to me.
Every time it goes more quickly. It's been a year since we've chatted, and now 33rd annual one, bigger and better, out
That's
at
right.
the fairgrounds, and we'll talk about the segments and the things that are going on there. But golly, sounds like you got another great lineup.
We're ready to go.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a few days away.
Well, that's less than 2 weeks now. I guess the only thing you can't control is the weather. I know Terry would, if he could, he'd be in charge of cloud control. We'd put him in charge of that. But other than that, I think you guys got it down to a science now, and I mean, you know what you're doing.
After 33 years, we hope.
Well, it's always such a great show out there. You have so many things going on. So tell us about this show. It's got a lot of good parts.
Well, being our 33rd year, we want to do things a little different, and people are going to have to be there that day on the third Saturday of June to see what is available, because we did some things different.
Really? Kind of
Yeah.
change it up a little bit, keep it fresh?
Trying to change it up a little bit and bring it back, maybe even like it was years and years ago.
Really go, because I know it has changed some, certainly.
Yeah.
So what can we expect here on this Saturday?
For one thing, we're going to be auctioning off an engine block,
Nice.
and we've got a Chinese auction, about $3,000 worth of items in that Chinese auction.
Really?
And you know how people like to take those tickets and
Oh.
drop them in each little container? Oh, gee, we've got it. They just got to come out and see it.
So you got some good items, Terry?
Oh, well, we have a 350, 300 Chevy motor, 300 horsepower that
Nice.
was John Pickens donated it. He put it in his car, and he had it rebuilt, put it in his car, wanted more power, so he took it out of his car. It only has a few hundred miles on it. So he donated it to us, and we're gonna auction it off. It's beautiful engine. I mean, it's very clean.
Now here's just an aside. What size engine did he want in there if this one isn't big enough?
I think he put a 383 with a little bit of cammed up just a little bit more, but he wanted a
It's
little
all
more
about power,
so
isn't it?
nothing
It's
wrong
all
with this
about
one,
power
but,
and speed. That's right. And then you have a bunch of other items I'm sure have been donated. The community's stepped up here and been a big help to y'all.
And then we go out and buy certain
Sure.
things, you know.
So you have good items.
And Larry Harmon always makes special items for the live auction, too.
Beautiful this
Nice.
And this is no exception. And one of the special things, we'll have some cornhole boards there this year that are Earth Angel boards.
Really?
People will be able to play on them that day, and then they can buy a set of them.
That would be nice because that's a popular thing. Everybody loves to do that in summer and have that logo on there and all that on it.
Yeah.
That'd be very sweet. So tell us about the hours and how things get going on Saturday.
Well, 9 o'clock registration will start.
Okay.
And at 12 noon will be the opening ceremonies with Michael Riley this year because Stan is out of the state.
Yeah, he's a little change here for
He'll
you.
be back
Again,
next
another
year.
change.
Another change.
Okay.
Change is change.
Change.
Mike comes highly recommended by
Yeah.
Stan.
Well, if Stan couldn't be here, Mike will do a great
Mike
job.
is,
There's no
yes.
doubt about it.
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Riley he's top notch.
Oh yeah, he sure is.
And then at 2 o'clock, we've got some memorials that we'll be recognizing that we've lost over this past year that have been very dear and close to the Earth Angel family. And of course, 7 o'clock, Terry's going to talk about this great entertainment we got coming in.
Yeah, I want to hear about that. They're called New Frontiers, and as I understand it, they come highly recommended.
Well, they're a Journey tribute band. And
Group Journey.
Journey, yeah, Steve Perry and Journey. You know,
Okay.
they're very popular.
Gotcha.
They are, they're just a good band. I mean, they're just a good group, and we want to change the entertainment up a little bit this year, so we thought, well, we'll just bring in a tribute band for Journey.
And you can get tickets for that, right? I mean, tickets are available if you want to be kind of a sponsor person for that.
As of today, you can buy your tickets at Save a Lot, Precise Welding. You can get them at the fairgrounds. You'll be able to get them that day of the event.
If they're available.
Yes, but get this. For $5 to park and $5 to come in, you're into the grandstand show. Now,
Can't get any
where
better
else
now.
could you get that?
Well, it's going to be $5 to get in anyway, $5 parking, $5 to get in, so you might as well just see the concert because you get
Yeah.
get in for free if you go to the concert.
Yeah.
So it's a wash. You might as well just go to the
No-brainer,
concert
huh?
and
Is
fill
that what we
fill
call
the
a
grandstand.
no-brainer?
Right.
Fill the
That's what we call
grandstand.
it. Yeah.
And the cruisers, with their registration, they got free seating in the grandstand.
Nice. So you'll have a good crowd in for that.
Yeah.
So there'll be some swap meets, some regular things going on there, kind of everything that we typically see.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's
Food.
Oh,
There'll
plenty
be
of
food vendors, there'll be crafters, there'll be outside vendors. Also, I've got tables on the track available. They need to see me about that, and they call me at 740-332-4713 and reserve your table. It's $30 each. So
And great price.
great price. We've dropped
right
that
up front
even.
with everything.
Oh my, that's boy, for not much money, you can have a great day out
Oh, yeah.
there.
And if they want
And
to,
evening.
and if they want to sit on the track in a chair for $10.
Nice.
So these other places save a lot, and the other places I mentioned will have that ticket also.
Okay. And again, it's June 15th, this Saturday, out at the fairgrounds. It's a kind of an all-day deal. And if you have a car that you want to bring, you can just bring it out. You can register that day.
Yes, you can register that
Yeah.
day. And bring your cars, trucks, bikes, anything. We may even have a couple semis.
Yeah. And let's take a moment to talk about when we think about Earth Angels. The two things we think about here, I think, are the great show you put on at the fairgrounds, but then the purpose of all this, the things you've done for 33 years to help young people. Tell us about that.
You don't dare forget the kids.
Yep.
Because 33 years ago, we had no money, even for postage. And Danny Irwin said, if we don't make any money, I will send one family. The very first year, we sent 2 families, and we paid all our bills.
And we're off.
And now 33 years later, here we are. And we have sent 7 families so far this year, and that's in excess of 50 grand, and we're not even through the year yet.
Man, it is I think it just goes to show, and I talk about this often when I have groups on like you. This community steps up when there's a need, especially for young people. Lancaster and Fairfield County, they're there.
And these are life-threatened, terminally ill children. They send the child, their family, and a caregiver if necessary. It's a 1 week, all expenses paid. Everything's
Yeah, this
give
isn't
them
a bare
spending
minimum
money.
trip. This
We
is
give them
top
spending
notch.
Any place they want to go in the continental
Wow.
United States.
Wow.
So, and we're all volunteer. Everything goes to the kids. We are not. Nobody makes any money off this at all. We're all volunteer.
No, if you look back at that, Terry, and your years here, and I asked Neil the same thing. When you look back, gosh, it must be just a great feeling to know that. Well, obviously, the show is fun, and you enjoy that, the cars and all that. We do that. But when you think about, you see the families and get to know them like you folks do, that's got to be a great feeling.
The kids are, of course, they're the special one. The kids, well, their family is too, because they have to, take care of them. And these kids, there's just always a smile on their face. I mean, they always it's just a pleasant, just a positive atmosphere when they're there.
And Neil, you've hit this for the 33 years it's been going on. I can't imagine the stories that you must have in your mind that you can think of that, gosh, what fun it's been for you.
It's been a journey.
Yes.
But these parents are special people.
Yeah.
They have to be. They're so joyful.
And I'm sure everybody is so appreciative of the opportunity, because this might be, something that otherwise wouldn't be available. Otherwise, it's just day to day to day, what they do every day. And now you give them a week off or a couple weeks away here. Wow, what a joy.
It's a time when they don't have to worry about anything. There's money there for them to buy their souvenirs, their food, their gifts, their needs to take care of them. Also to get into Disney or wherever the occasion may be. So they don't have to worry about the pocketbook.
Nice.
We take care of it.
Now, get me wrong here. Isn't there a website people can look this up? They can find more information about this.
Yes. Be sure and look us up on our website, earthangelfoundation.org.
.org.
Yes.
Okay.
Or like us on Facebook at Earth Angel Foundation.
Man, you
Either
guys
way.
are all over it. You guys are all about social media because that's where it really is
Well,
now.
yeah, you have to go with the times. You know,
Yes,
this is-
yeah,
Well, years ago, we got all our children's names by lip service.
sure.
Today, we don't do that.
Yeah.
It comes over the website.
Just punch a button and there's somebody out there to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good day, good family entertainment. I guess that's what I think of when I think about this day out at the fairgrounds on June 15th for the Earth Angel Super Cruise coming in. Gosh, a lot of cars, trucks, motorcycles, bikes, but food, swap meets, things for the kids to
A lot
do.
of good food.
It's really a family time,
and
and the cost couldn't be better.
Oh, no.
true, and there's everything there so people don't have to leave and go find something to eat
Yeah.
or find something else to do because it's right there for them.
Yeah, I know it's a long day for you guys, but again, it's got to be it's real
Oh,
fulfilling when you
The
get done with
kids,
this.
I mean, the kids, and they're just heartwarming. They really are.
And there will be several of the families there this year too.
Oh, nice.
We've sent out 81 invitations to families that have gone on trips in the past that still keep in contact with us. And I know we won't have 81 families there, but we'll have families there
Good representation.
that represent and come back.
Yeah. So it's the 33rd annual Super Cruise In. Anybody that goes by the fairgrounds on that day, you know what's going on then. I mean, it's a fabulous day there. I mean, just the crowds are nice. I mean, the music's great. It's just in for a fun day, Terry.
Sure is. Now, before we're through with this, I want to mention that if you need a room, if you're out of
Good
town or
point.
something, you need
Good
a
point.
room, you call Holiday Inn Express, 740-654-4445, or Baymont Inn and Suites, 740-654-5111, and be sure to ask for the Super Cruise discount.
Get a
because
nice
they give
discount on
Super
that.
Cruise
Great.
rate.
Good
Yeah,
for
they
those
give a discount.
businesses like that. I know you rely on people like that to
Oh, yeah.
sponsors
Yeah, they're
around that
wonderful
do everything
sponsors.
for you.
They take care of us pretty well.
33 years, boys. Good luck this week. Well, actually, it's in the 15th, but it's the 33rd annual Super Cruise
Closing
In out
in
at the
fast.
fairgrounds. It is getting here fast, less than 2 weeks away. All this work's coming to a head. Earth Angel Foundation, you know what a great job they do, sending families and kids to do that. So Neil Redd and Terry Smith, thank you for joining us. We look for another wonderful time down there, and I hope it's not a year, but it may very well be a year. But in 34, we'll have everybody back again.
True.
Good.
And we'll be here still doing the same thing.
Getting the job done for Earth Angel Foundation. That's great.
That's
The
true.
Super Cruise In on June 15th out at the fairgrounds. I want to thank Neil and Terry for being with us. Thank you for joining us at Fairfield today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.